Good morning, everybody. How are you guys? Let's turn on this light right here. It's a Tuesday. I'm going to look at YouTube and see if we're making noise. Because I'd love to see if we have audio. Wouldn't that be nice? So, here we are on my page. I need to change to the right page, of course. So, how is everybody's Tuesday going? No, I don't want your ads. That's fine, but I just really need to find out whether I'm broadcasting or not. Oh, man. Let's see if I've got audio. Oh, man. Look, I got audio. Let's see if I've got audio. Oh, no, I'm echoing. That's kind of fun, actually. So now I'm having fun with echoes. Okay, good. Good morning, Fred. How are you this morning? So now you can hear me and everything's good, and like all's working and everything like that. So that's nice, as opposed to before where it's slow today. You can hear me. Good morning, Donald. I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad you both can hear me. So we're going to go on ahead and ink this little guy today and send that one off. But on the same token, I kind of want to fix the engines, I think, a little bit on there, because I feel like the engines are a little bit too close together. We'll fix that. So, yeah, I think I figured out what the story is with this audio. If I switch the audio during the broadcast, it won't work. It stops working. But if I switch the audio prior to the broadcast, then we're fine. But you have to switch the audio, because otherwise it starts by default with the camera audio, and I don't want to do that. So you might notice this guy right here. This is a friend of mine has a hard drive, which about 5 or 6 months ago, I offloaded all of my videos and all of my audio to. And he brought it back and said, hey, you want to put your videos and audio back onto your computer? So I was mostly worried about my MP3s, of course, that I've been collecting for 25 years. All my music from all the, there are a whole bunch of albums on my hard drive that are no longer in print and very difficult to get a hold of. And I had the CDs and then had to get rid of them when I went to Japan because they took up too much space. So, that was a real concern for me. I was worried I would lose a whole bunch of that stuff. So I was very grateful that he had this hard drive. So we are in the process of copying all of that hard drive off back onto my computer again. But that's the whole point behind this hard drive. And he added a couple of albums. I didn't. So the computer upgrade came at the worst possible time. I was consolidating everything to move it to cloud drives so that this couldn't happen. And I had backed up, like my Google Drive, I had backed up 4 times or 5 times on my hard drive. So I had 4 copies of my Google Drive. And instead of just moving, 1.5 terabytes of data to my Google Drive and then trying to figure out how to either pay them more money for the storage or, you're listening to Loretta Lynn. That's really cool too. But the problem that I had was I was trying to merge all of those Google Drives together so that they were all one Google Drive, but they were different snapshots from different eras. So I had to go through and, do all of okay, this one's newer, this one's older, I can keep the newer one. But when you get into things like my projects for my comics, sometimes it's not the best option to save the newer one, you want to save both of them, because the older one might be useful for something else. Like once we finish this sketch and everything like that, I might save it as a JPEG, which is flat and has no layers. And you never know. So, anyway, I was in the middle of merging all of those things and going through individually every photograph and deciding which one was newer and which one was older. And since those hard drives weren't in bad shape, I was like, well, they'll live just long enough for me to transfer them to this new Seagate 6 terabyte that's brand new in this machine. So once we do that, then I'll be able to finish my job. That was my that's been my quarantine job, is to merge all of these hard drives together and sort stuff. It actually was kind of nice. I had managed to go through and find every story I had ever written since the 1990s, late 80s even. And I found all of those, and I was able to move them into one folder where they weren't before. They had been scattered all over the place, as time goes on. The first stories I ever wrote, I wrote in text documents on the computer, back in the early 90s. And so it was kind of cool. I've been working on Bellatrix Rising, and this is the breakdown of that story. And it was kind of nice to be able to, I need an extra two volumes right here just to make this work so that the arc ends in the right place. And so I just go back through some of my old writings and I go, oh, that's a good idea. I'll flesh that one out and use that here. So that had been very useful. And of course, those are all now on those hard drives. I'll have to do that again now because I did actually find my Google Drive still has them, the actual Google Drive. But I didn't, of course, store all of my MP3s up on a Google Drive because I'm sure somebody would find that to be somewhat illegal or something, even though I owned all of those CDs. But now I don't own them anymore because, of course, I gave them all away when I left for Japan because I didn't want to put them in storage. So I can't prove that I once had all of those MP3s. So I wasn't keeping them on a cloud drive. So that's all right. We keep them all here. This is also where all of my Star Trek is, which is really important as a Trekkie. Now, I definitely owned all of those DVDs, and I definitely owned all the VHSs before that. I've been collecting Star Trek, the same 79 episodes in various forms for many, many years. So, okay, we're going to work on this drawing over here, which we've got, which is our actually, I can just do this spotlight. There we go. Click, 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 click. I don't know if anybody has noticed the cool new blue rig that I put on here, because red wasn't going so well with the multi-person background. Because I've got the ability to do this multi-person background now, so whenever I do this, I can do that. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? I think that's nifty. So now we can do a two-person thing, right? But the red that was up here and down there sort of clashed with the green, made it look very Christmassy, which might be, a thing. But blue goes better with the green, so we got that going. So there you go. This is my, over the weekend, last weekend, I was kind of cleaning this up and kind of cleaning up the world here and, some of the pieces so that I could do this. Well, thank you. And I'm pretty pleased with that ship, too. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and clean this guy up. We did the sketch, right? We did a rough sketch on him. So now what I'm going to do is take this ink. There's a couple of things I want to fix. This engine pod is straighter. Now that I've actually seen some other pictures of this particular ship. So I want to straighten out that engine pod a little. This particular vessel looks like it's supposed to be sort of a car, effectively. That's what I'm kind of gathering. You know, it was like just a car. SS Puddle Jumper. Yes. So, what it is it's a space dock shuttle. So, looking at the space dock shuttle above, there's a couple of things I'm noticing. One, it's not wide enough. So we're going to have to take this guy, and actually I'm going to go on ahead and we're just going to adjust a little here. We're going to make a couple of adjustments. One is this. We're going to extend this out just a little bit because this guy's going to get wider all of a sudden on both these directions. So we're going to take this guy. We have to hit the shift key here. And we want to go 117%. We also don't want to call it the shift key. Right, 117 seems about right. So we're good. And I want to remember this number because I've got to do the same thing to this. Right? So I'm going to hit the shift key. And 116 is close, I think. There we go. And that will make this like it looks when I look at the tri-view over here. Now the next thing is these engine pods. Now, when I look at the engine pods on here, they really don't come back very far at all. They're more right. Let's do this. This is the time to mess with this, to get this straightened out. Right? But it looks like it starts here for one. And for two, we're going to take the transform and we're going to skew. Because I feel like it's more like that. Right? And that looks more accurate. Yeah, that's more accurate. And that's the way it looks. It's more like a box. It's really not. It's not. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to copy and paste. And we're going to transform. We're going to flip this vertical and move that there. And I'm going to actually go beep, beep. Maybe more. There we go. Just like that. And then I take the ink underneath it. Because now we don't need this. Make a bigger ink. Just get rid of this. Now, this middle piece, looking at the model itself. Here, I'll bring up the model so you can take a look at the actual model itself here. That middle piece right there now looks like it extends all the way over. This is the actual filming miniature that they used for the movie. So, it's a little tug shuttle thing. So I'm looking at, now these engines are a little bit more rounded, but this piece goes all the way across. So want to make sure that we have that covered. Bill George did a lot of those. So let's go ahead and bring this down so I can bring this around like that. More rounded. And this goes all the way across. Yesterday, Donald had brought up a good point that there might have been variations on the various ships. And I'm noticing, like this is the Generation 3 version of this puddle jumper as was called by, rightfully so. Yeah, bringing that model back up. I mean, it looks rounded more, like rounded back here and rounded back there and across here like that. Definitely looks more rounded, and looks more rounded up through here too. Like this windshield has a much more aggressive cut. Let's look at it from when it was actually in the model itself. Yeah, so it does look like I've got more of a turn to this than that. Maybe I should bring this down more. Like that. There we go. And then this will be more like this. That looks actually more like it's what it really looks like. There we go. Yep. I think you're right. So, looking at the front of this miniature is hard. I've only got side views of it. But it's got like this wing structure almost going along this side. And then the engine seems to be like it has this intake which feeds to the underside of this engine nacelle. Got the little wing structure here and the intake. And the problem is there we don't have the engine structure. So let's go on ahead and fix that. It's got this wing structure. Like that. Right? Let's take a look at it again. Seems like that comes out. Here, I'll put this up on this screen here so that I can look at it. Yeah, this comes out from underneath it. So we'll do this. Like that. And then I'll bring this back like so. And then this piece comes out like that. And then we get the engine nacelle. It's more like this. There we go. It even has like a marker right here to kind of indicate what it's doing. I like the fact that this thing's designed to be ectoplasmic of some sort or another. I find that hysterical. No idea exactly what he's doing with this, but it's funny. Okay. This is also hard to do because I'm looking... Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. Sneezes sneak up on me. Let's go ahead and we're in an ink, but let's go ahead and get just a little bit more ink out of this. So we can kind of go around this corner here, go around this corner, and around this corner here. There we go. Now we'll kind of go through here. Somebody is mowing again. I can tell because now my nose is all stopped up. There we go. Alright, like that. Then we'll let this kind of go through here like so. We're just going to kind of Slimer. Yes. Slimer would be just stuck to the food replicator. Slimer. Alright. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about, like, through here. There's a ring there. We do that. And then we're going to... We need that little adapter, which looks like kind of went on a extender like this. Goes out a little bit on the... Like that. Just like that. There we go. There we go. Just like this. And then there's this adapter piece, which I think is totally designed to just keep this ship from running into walls, I guess. I mean, we were talking about a shuttle that spends most of its time in a dry dock. So it's going to be tootling around and moving around the dry dock. So I'm guessing that it has a little adapter here to keep it from hitting the dry dock walls. There we go. That looks a whole lot better. Put those guys here, though. A little bit like that. You wouldn't really see it from the front, but you would see it from the sides. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's atmospheric worthy, but I always wonder about that. If you have an engine that works, I guess really ion engines wouldn't work very well in atmosphere at all. They work great in space, but they don't work in atmosphere, mostly because in space, of course, ions can just sit there and just spit out, and that'll give you just enough push. But, as people often say, ion engines generate about as much thrust as the weight of one sheet of paper on your hand. Not a whole lot. Certainly not enough to deal with gravity or atmosphere. Your ion engines wouldn't do anything. So it does kind of make you think, okay, that makes some sense. You know. But, I don't know. Okay, we've done all we can, I think, on this one, so I'm going to go on ahead and put this up there. And we're going to do a new layer. Yes. There we go. And now we can start putting in the outer lines on this. And I'm only going to do one side because I want to I'll just duplicate this. Oh man. Help me out here. Oh, here we go. Ha ha ha. I caught you before you got ridiculous. There we go. Come along. There we go. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. I put 20 on the outside, and I'm going to put 10 for inside lines. Right? But we're doing the exact same thing we did before, where it doesn't look like it's, to me it didn't look like it was. There we go. I'm just going to put this right along this line right there. This one right along this line right here. We'll just trim that down in a minute. And these smaller lines, so it's kind of a drafting technique to use large lines for the outside and smaller lines for the inside. And I've been doing that for a while. It is also a comic book technique. There were small guys out here, and I don't know what happened to them. Did they get buried? Are they over here? Yeah, they're over here, that's why. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put a guide in right here so that these guys don't run away with me. I find it funny that I'm being trained by a glitch in Photoshop, which sometimes this just lets go. I've dragged it, and that's all it's going to let me do. So I don't know if that's a reset that's going on, but I'm getting a periodic glitch where the line tool lets go and releases. I'm not sure exactly why it's doing that. That seems to be something that it's doing since the reinstalls. But every so often it just lets go of the... do this. See, like there. Just let go. And it works if I hold too long. It'll just somewhere along the line it'll give up and then just decide that that's it. That's all you get. There you go, right there. It's very funny. I'm not sure what that's all about, but it is somewhat aggravating. Okay, I'm going to just draw like that. There we go. I'm going to go down some with this because we're going to be trimming around the corners here. There we go. leave those as they are. I did notice that this guy did not get completely across. That was completely across. I'm going to go up here, and I'm just going to fill this in right there, and then we're going to come back around and trim it off. Come on, get that there. There we go. So we're going to come around this corner like this. And we left this open so that that cable can go through. But it's not really like the best idea, I don't think. So we'll come back around like this. We're just going to round these off. Alright. This takes some time and some patience to sort of get this rounded effect. Yeah, it's almost right. There we go, that's right. Right, and we'll just do that. Then we want to finish up this line work. I see that I have a processor stall. It's one of the things that seems to be going on here. I'm going to go on ahead and finish this line across to there. That wasn't where I wanted to go. I feel like the processor is in the process of thinking something through, like there, and it just stops. There we go. Now that we've lined the top half of the vessel, I'm going to go ahead and just finish this little bit right here, this guy right here. Just like this. Not 100% sure what this guy does. I don't think anybody really knows, but we'll put him in here. There we go. Right, the wings. The little wing things that were here. Just kind of went like this, out to this point, and then came back up like that. I agree. I'm going to have to put that in. Okay, so I've got you on here, Brent. You can kind of help me figure this out. You can see right over here, I only hit the eraser twice and pressed and then erased twice. But I've got 6 impacts here, which means that the computer stopped sensing the pin and then started sensing the pin again. Do we consider that a possible problem with the USB port? Or is that it feels kind of, I mean, the way it feels when I'm drawing is it feels like I get a stall, like the computer is thinking or whatever, and then comes back to paying attention. But that could be just an interpretation. What do you think? What do you suspect that could be? I know I'm getting a bunch of random hits here, but this has been going on since this new computer was built. So, do you have any theories on it? It is somewhat disconcerting. Well, that would make sense. I'll plug the pin in at the end of this. You know what? I actually have an auxiliary pin. Over here, because I haven't actually plugged it into the unit yet, is my pin, which I can plug in right here. And let's see if you just swap them out right now. And I'll put this pin on the charge right here. And I'll take my auxiliary pin. One of the things I love about XP Pen, as far as a company goes, is they sent me 2 pens. So this one's the tablet's plugged in direct to the back port. They gave me an expansion port for this computer because I have so many things that I have so many items on here now. They gave me an expansion port for the computer. It felt kind of... Okay, so we're going to... Yeah, it already feels better. I think it may have been just a dying battery. I used the same pen for so long, I forget that I probably shouldn't use the same pen, I guess. Okay, let's get this correct. Let's get this correct by holding the... Oh, there you go. Come on, center. Is that it? Must be the Alt key. Okay. Alt, Shift. There we go. And this will make this. We'll give it a 10-point stroke on the inside. There we go. Now it's lined up exactly right. Nice. You've got a new server rack. And that's awesome. All the tech guys. I love the tech guys. In my, thought processes in my head, I'm always like, the tech guys will... I used to be a tech guy back in the day, and I'm not anymore. Just really not. Come down here. Keep thinking I am. So all I'm doing here is just cleaning up this design so that it fits well on this. And things like this where it is already running better. I think you were right, Brent, and what I asked you. I think we really definitely had. There we go. That's what those should be. We'll need the space here for these coolers to be over here as well. I thought I saw the jumping with the circle too, but I couldn't be sure whether that wasn't just me being goofy over here. So we'll have to see. We'll get some more line work in here in a minute, and so we'll see whether it gets wonky or not. That could have been just me having to reach over behind myself here. I don't feel like this is lined up on that very well. This. There we go, just like that. And then I can go back in here and just connect these two. Ooh, a little too connecty there. Yeah, I saw a jump there. So this is it's coming across to me like it is reading data somewhere. Like it is trying to catch up, like it's getting an information packet or something. That's the way it feels. Like I've had computers do that before. Yeah, it's aligned now. That looks much better, much more aligned. It means that we're going to have to move this rack back, otherwise it's got to be on top of this, the adapter there. Okay, let's go on ahead and duplicate this guy. Transform that. There we go. Clear this guide, because otherwise we won't be able to tell whether we're aligned properly or not. Everything looks good. All of my lines look good. All right. There we go. That's the top of the shuttle in. Now we need to come back here and fix this part, which we'll do. First, I will merge these two down. Now we'll go over here and hit the lines. Yeah, we solved the problem. But at least we eliminated the pin from this problem, so there's that. And I can sense that it's about to happen, which means that it's cyclical. There's something cycling, because I feel like we're about to hit that point where it's going to do it again. And I mean, I can't predict it 100%, but it does make me think that something is not working properly here. I'm going to do 5 point. I have calibrated the tablet, but I may not have calibrated it recently. It may be calibration issue with the tablet. You're right, that could be a thing. I don't remember when the last time I calibrated the tablet was. It might have been prior to the build. If so, you may be onto something there. Dang it. We're very, very close, so I can just get some of this stuff patched in. I just don't want the lines to look like they've been jinky and weird. Not jinky and weird. Just this is one of those tasks which would be better suited in Illustrator, but I've been so long out of touch with Illustrator that it would take a very long time for me to do it in Illustrator just to learn how to use the controls again. It's been years since I used Illustrator. And so, I'm not necessarily against the idea of Illustrator, it's been so long since I've used it last that it would... Right. So, one of the first things that I did with this new build was download XP Pen's drivers for this. Prior to this build, I was using Windows drivers for it, and I completely agree that the difference was astounding. I'm going to take a look here and just see if I can't do something with the calibration, because I should have. The XP Pen has a driver set, although it's pretty hard to find it. I can't remember where it went. And it's like everything. So we got Pen Tablet, and I think that's Pen Tablet is Windows drivers. Yeah, see, I had the XP Pen drivers right up here, right up front, and now I don't. Instead, I have Xbox games. I think that Windows is trying to install stuff. Never believe that, right? So let's give this a shot here. I'm just going to go real quickly look at my C drive and see if I can't find the XP drivers. Maybe it's in downloads. I mean, I haven't had this computer for very long. Yeah, there's the XP Pen drivers. Bloatware is pretty bad with Windows. It's the first thing I did was the XP drivers, so I'm going to actually just push this to the desktop. Everybody always makes fun of me for having so many things on the desktop. I'm like, well, yeah, but, you know. Yeah, the XP Pen stuff, though, is... I do too, thank you. The blue theme is nice. It makes it nice and just kind of it's a nice color. And thank you very much. And I made it more in the line with the artwork that we're sort of getting with Bellatrix Rising, so it's in a theme with that. I'm designing the buildings with these little widgets and things like that, so it's kind of a nice... You know, I'm leery to run the XP Pen drivers right now because it's just an EXE. So I'm going to let that sit for right now, because right now we're working. On wood. So let's get back. I'm kind of like worried that we mess with this too much. I'm going to end up with, a we're going to crash out the pin or something like that. Something bad will happen. So, okay. Now that we've done this, I'm going to go on ahead and do the upper platform. The upper platform should just be pretty straight up this rig, right? Oh, man. Not only did it click once, but it clicked twice there. At this sort of upper rig platform. See you later, Brent. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. And then I'll do this guy. Really should have trimmed that down when I had the chance, but that's okay. And then we'll make sure he's bolted in. There we go, just like that. And we've got this like transfer box that sits up top here. And we're going to get the little noodly gun. The good news is just about everything is pretty straight up at this point in time. Like that. And then I'm going to change to my elliptical. Off-center that just a little bit. I wanted to off-center it before and then didn't. So now we've got all of these kind of conflicting lines. So first thing I'm going to do is just clean up what's here. So I had to go read. There we go. We're just cleaning up these lines right through here. I'm going to clean up this line as well. And this is that Egon Spangler reader widget. Okay, we're getting a lot of pops here. There we go. So I get the eraser out. There we go. I'm just going to go through here and just clean this up. I'm leery to use the line tool. Luckily, we are still set for a very small brush. That was 2 brush hits. It wasn't 2 brush hits. Okay. Clean up this little area right up there too. Come down here, do the same thing. We're just close to the edge here. Easily. There we go. All right. Slightly more to the right, my little Spangler widgets. I can fix that. I'm not going to fix it here. I'm just going to assume that they assembled them weird, but I will get them on this side for you. I don't know. I could probably do the whole thing. No, I can't. There we go. Well, that tells me something. That's a processor thing. There we go. Widgets are aligned. Thank you. Thanks, Fred. This tank is shaped funny, so what I'm going to have to do is do a specific... I'm going to have to do this. That's what I'm going to have to do. I'm going to kind of come along here like this. Take this over here. Then put that in as stroke inside. I'm going to take then half of it like this. I'm going to line that up just right. Then I'm going to pull this out and then put it right like there. And I'll grab the other half and we'll put it there. Otherwise, this will be too far out of alignment. Okay, that's where we're keeping it, I guess. There. So this tank lives up here. I'm going ahead and just clean this up right through here. There. Now we need to figure out what underneath here is actually not involved in this. A little easier whenever we don't have to worry about conflicting problems with. There we go. All right. And clean up this line right here. Good. And now we've got the pack on top. Double check it to make sure it looks good. Looks totally fine. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this line through here. First thing. Yep, I agree. First thing we're going to do is go over here. We're going to take this line and make sure that my line itself is a 10. It is. So I can now kind of That's too thin. So we're going to change brushes. A hard pressure size. This will give me more of this effect. Undo, undo. I'm going to go to a different layer. I'm going to come up. I'm going to wobble apparently. Let's come up and over and connect. We're going to go out. Ooh. And up. And up. And over and connect. There we go. On the underline here, we're just going to erase this out because we don't need it. We don't need that. Or this. Or this. Or even that. And that works. And it takes a long time to do technical drawings. I think it's one of the reasons why so many people just kind of skip over the technical drawing part. Because it does. It takes a long time to kind of do these technicals. Now, the other thing I'm noticing, though, is that really this guy should be, now that we've merged these together, did we merge these together? We didn't. Let's merge these together. We're going to go through here with this, because he's actually aligned like this with a door here. Because there's an invisible line sort of to the top of the ship right there. It is slanted slightly inward, like this. Right? So it's tilted in, so we'd be able to see this connector on the side of the hull. I need to make sure we put that line on the other side too. Yeah, I agree. It should have some kind of coupler or maybe something like that. That sounds like a good point. And it should be halfway as well, which I'm noticing it's not. There we go, something like this. Indicate that it's attached to the hull here. I don't really want this attachment to be more than, I mean, it can't be unbalanced. So, yeah, and it should have a coupler nut up at the top up here too. Something that makes it really look like it's attached. I gotta watch out for converging tangents here. So I'm gonna pull that out like so. That way it's not converging. There we go. Just like this. Looks looks a whole lot better. I agree. It does. It looks a lot better doing that. So I agree with you. Good job. I'm also going to have to put these lines in because there were these wires which go underneath it. This is a transfer box of some sort. I don't know what it's doing, but whatever it is, it did something up here. But I want to make sure I have those represented. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is just make sure that this is a containment unit. There's obviously framework here that it's all built on. All of this stuff's built in a little box up there on the top. I agree. So we've got all of this like sort of in a tech box here, so I kind of probably even do some kind of cross bracing like this, maybe. You know, engineers, they love to change things. Put this under here. That might be something I want to do manually up there. Oh, now it looks bent. Okay, here's what we're going to do. There we go. I was sitting here struggling over this, and I'm like, you could make this a whole lot easier on yourself, or you don't have to. So, I apparently wanted to struggle. I don't know why. It seemed like a thing. I should have done the same thing for this guy. A lot easier. Through and just do this and this, and then put it underneath this box. Then we can go over here. I don't know, maybe I'll just leave it. That looks pretty good, actually, and I'll just leave it like it is. I'll take a look. That looks fine. The other thing I want to kind of do, though, is imply that there are other widgets up here. So here's how you do this. This is going to be kind of fun. I'm going to take the blending options here. I'm going to take do a 10-point outer or inner stroke, inside stroke, black. And that means that any widget that I add up here, like this, or this guy right here, or that, or this, will automatically look correct up here. If I do little guys like this guy, and that guy. So they've got some kind of just things that are up here that are all strapped in, but you don't see them from the side. You only see parts of this from the side. So we don't have to worry about all of this stuff being seen. You don't see all of this stuff. You just see parts of it. Right? The other thing I'm going to do is something more along the lines of like, that's kind of cool looking in its own way. Give ourselves a polygon in here too. That's interesting, but not what I wanted to do. So we just got random widgets that are in here. They're just bolted up here and things. So there's stuff on this. There. None of these little pieces show up above the rig, so you're not going to see it anywhere on the side view. So there we go. We've got the top view done. I like it. It looks good. So I'm going to pull the ink out of it at this point in time. Let's go ahead and just do this. This seems like this is a better idea. Just to go like this. Right? So I'll take all of these out, leaving just that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to say Control-Shift-E. And I'll flatten all of that together so it's all one unit. So you don't have to worry about it. So this is one of the reasons also why I often say we undercharge ourselves, I think, because I don't think I charged very much for this TriView. To be fair, I'm having a whole lot of fun with it, though. This is fascinating and fun, and I love working with starships in general, anything Star Trek and space-oriented, so we're good on that. I'm not that worried. The only thing I'm going to have to worry about here is this side view does not line up. There we go. Just need to make sure that this tank and this tank are the same, so I actually can probably just cannibalize it. It doesn't move. So I'll just take that, Control copy and paste, and I'll bring that down to right here. It's the same tank, in the same spot, no less. So that will give us a point of reference, which will be useful. Let's see it raised up a little there. There we go. In the meantime, we want to make sure that's there, so that when I come in here with a line, I'm just going to bring this line down like that, just to indicate that, and I'm going to have it in the wrong color. I'm going to bring this line down to indicate that. There we go. And that's all I really needed from that marker. Right? Was that? Because now I can bring a marker to here and mark that in point on that, which is here. And actually looks like it's lined up pretty well. but no need to make it more difficult. So I'll just do this. Excellent. Just like that. Right? We're just going to... We stole all these pieces already from above. I agree. I think this is kind of nifty that this particular person hires me to do this. He loved my work on Tamerlane, and so when I would do all the tech drawings for Tamerlane that were that were like this, where I was just trying to illustrate deck plans, or I was just trying to kind of give you an idea of what was going on in the world of... Let me give this a little bit of a gap so it matches what we have above. Right? Just right there. And, he liked that I did that, and he's commissioned me every game. He commissions me to do these weird deck plans for him, and I love doing it. I really do. It's a lot of fun. Make sure this is lined up the right way, because it's not. And I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I enjoy... He's a very creative GM, and I love his concepts and designs. He keeps coming up with these fascinating game concepts. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Okay, we're going to do the same thing down here, but I'm going to learn my lesson. So I'm going to go up a level. We're going to go like this. And we're going to go like that. Like that. Go across. Oh yeah, see, I already messed it up. Right there. Go across. That's right, it's not going to matter too much in this point. At this point here, just in case. Give myself a little bit of more ink. There isn't an inside view. He didn't really want an inside view of the shuttle. He just wanted an exterior for it, which that's fine. There we go. We do need to merge those two together. We need to do this guy, but again, I can just cannibalize him. Alright. And just put him down here. It's going to be in the same spot, so he's just going to be like this. And we'll be able to see bits of this guy coming up the other side. I'm actually, because I've got converging tangents there and there, I'm going to do this and raise them up. So he sticks up above. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, this here and like that. There we go. Oop, 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 oop. Getting carried away with my erasure here. We're going to have to go back and repair these pieces here. No. Actually, we want that line. That line actually makes sense, but this one doesn't. And then all of this stuff under here is gone. Through here and do this. We're just cleaning up all of this. It's behind all of this rigging, so you're not going to see it. There we go, just like that. I have to go back and fix a little, but not a lot. Okay. Now we'll go in over here, and we'll fix this. This line work is a little touchy, but not too bad. Here we go, just like that. There we go, exactly like this. Let's make sure we clean up this a little. And then we'll go back in and with a brush, straighten that out. Straighten that out. And this is that line which we can kind of see coming over the side like this. So I'm going to put that in like that. We can see the line, but it's not there yet. Okay. Now, side view and front view do not agree on the window, I'm noticing. So let's go ahead and put some guides in to make sure I don't go past certain lines. Because this has to agree. This front window has to agree. Otherwise it'll look silly. So, also this middle piece has to agree. Which it goes to here and here. And then this after piece goes to here. So, looks like I got carried away. What pieces go where? And here's this inside. That works. And here's the outside. That works. Okay. So let's go ahead and start putting in the lines for all this. But we're going to have to improvise a little. And I don't like improvising, but that's okay. It'll work. It'll work. It'll work. We'll get it. First things first. If we take this elliptical, I don't think this elliptical is going to be, it's going to be longer than I think it will be, right? So we're going to do kind of this number, right? It's going to be more like so, and then I'm going to go on a different layer, and I'm going to, this is a 20, so I'm going to do 20 on this guy. Right. And that'll give us the window shape right off the start there. Take delete. And then delete. So we started with the window shape, which I rounded a lot more than we kind of decided. We thought it was probably a little bit more sleek. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transform and if I warp it, I can get a lot more of that sleek look that we're looking for. That's what we're after, right? A little bit more sleek. then I'll bring it back. Then I'll bring it back. So I put that in. There we go. So now we've kind of brought that a little bit more into line with everything. The other thing we need to do is take this guy here and give him a real quick outside stroke, because it's not 20, it's a 10 all the way around. The way to do this the fast way is to select everything on this layer, which doesn't select this back part. Who's there? That's there. So we'll go and take these guys and move them there, and deselect, and then go down one layer. Like that. So we take everything and select this layer. Double check to make sure it's only selecting the proton pack and things like that on the back, or whatever we want to call that. Not sure if we want to call it a proton pack or not. But then we just simply say this, and we say stroke, and we say center 20, and that'll give it a thicker run, right? Apparently it'll also grab everything else. I don't want to do that. So let's do this, and then go Control-Shift-I inverts my what's its stroke. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this instead. There we go. And that gave a thicker line to everything on the outside. So that does the same thing I just did around here, except does it over here and does it much faster. So, and then I'll have to clean up in here a little bit, because of course we didn't want that to happen here. That's okay. It's perfectly fine. We can fix that. Okay. Now we need to go for our 20s and get the outside of the shuttle. Although, you know, this doesn't go bad on this one. It's not like this was a particularly bad thing. But I want to make sure we've got these two connected properly. Like that. Come down there, and then just do this. There we go. We'll come up around like this. Up through here. And we're just gonna, and all we're doing is we're just extending this line so that it's thick all around the outside. Take this guy here and make sure he's a 20 as well. Then I can just hand this like that. Right. Now we can go in and back to the 10s for the inside line. We do the things like this. Oh, I gotta clear the guys. We don't want to clear the guys until we're sure we've got these guys here. wonky. The brush has gone out of control. Okay. You're a little wonked here. Hang on a quick. I'm having a problem. Before we damage this, let's save it. Okay, now, I think saving it fixed our wonk, whatever was wrong with this thing. So there we go, we're going to come along here. Let's do an undo on that. I think we're on a different layer. We are. There we go, just like that. And this is that back piece, right? We want that to be aligned with this back piece. So this actually goes here, like that. And this guy goes all the way down like this. There we go. No, you're not helping. There. With that, I can. Probably should get a lot closer before we do that. There we go. The engines go all the way in like that. So the engines go all the way in. That's not a problem. This guy goes around the corner. I think with that, we've got everything pretty covered now. So I'm going to go ahead and clear guides, which will drop all those guides out. Kind of the reason we want to make sure we drop all the guides is because this will snap to them. We don't want it to snap. We really don't. There we go, just like that. Okay, cleaning up this area right up here. We're actually not going to be able to do that. I'm going to have to go up a layer, maybe to here. There we go. Not sure where that was. I now have 3 layers of control here, so I'm going to smoosh them down a little because I'm having some problems finding where everything is, right? I don't know where everything is. There we go. There we go, like this. Through here. Down here on this engine pylon is much more of a freehand. So I kind of want to make sure I've got this. This is really freehand. Okay, not bad. Not good, but not bad. And this piece goes like this. And then we get these winglets. Which kind of go this way. And they go all the way to the back. I actually like that. Okay. There we go. So, one of the things I can do is, this engine is pretty much this same thing. So, we can again just kind of cannibalize the existing artwork. Right? I mean, it's already here. Might as well use it. Just shrink it down. And it fits, and it looks fine, and nobody's going to be the wiser, I guess. Except all of you people over here. Now that we've done that, we can just flatten that in. Why'd you bring up Explorer? Oh, did I hit window? I didn't mean to hit window. I meant to hit control. All right. Next thing's next. These little guys. They need to be on their own layer temporarily. Go ahead and build them in. There we go. Right? Ectoplasm punk. I like that. You have coined a new phrase. Thanks, Fred. Ectoplasm punk. I like it. I'm going to make sure this is a 20 because it's an outside line. So we'll go 20 on this. But then I'm going to do this little guy right here. I'm going to raise a layer. I'm going to do the same thing, but this time we're going to do a 10, right? Because this is an inside line. So this guy is, he's here. So we're going to kill this line. Kill this line. We're going to go here. This guy's outward a little bit more. Right? Let's take a look at this. This guy goes here. Except he doesn't, because we knew that there was... No, they both go to the same line, don't they? They both go to here. Which means that he's here, and effectively here. Right? And that gives us these guys and those guys moving along that arc. And it looks just fine. And one more thing, just a little detail. I want to put this line in right through here. And I need it on this line right here. Right? I want that to line up with those guys because it should. And then we're also going to take this guy and make sure he's on here in the right spot, of course, naturally. Take you, put you on this layer. Docking widget for things. Yeah, I mean, I think that anything could happen. Well, let's put this outside and see what happens. Bork. Yeah, see, that looks fine. And we have the added benefit of that. Right? I'm going to go ahead and flatten, bring all of that down. Perfect. Through and so I really don't think that this line's on this wing. There we go. Now we'll take out the ink. Look at it. We look good. Now, going ahead and color in the cockpit. That black color because that's pretty much what we need. What? Okay, Fred, I'm almost terrified to ask what a spirit phone is. But what's a spirit phone? Knowing that I'm going to get an answer, of course. So we're going to go ahead and do this layer. I'm going to put in our white rectangle. The one thing I did notice was there's a little chin light right here. So we're just going to put in this little chin. No, we're not. Switch it over. And then inside here, we're going to have to bring it back a little. It should be 10 for the inside. So we're going to go this way, and then this way, and this way, and then this way. Post Ghostbusters movie, the cartoon, and the other cartoons are loosely based on this. That's a ghost phone. I'm still wondering what a ghost phone is. I mean, unless this is something that was a gag on the Ghostbusters movies, that would make some sense. But you implied that was you had an implication there that was a real object, a ghost phone. Though I am wondering whether I'm going to regret asking that question. I might regret asking that question. See, I didn't actually regret it that much. I'm going to give this a little bit of a... There we go. I'm just cleaning up a lot of this don't want. I loathe to call it anatomy, but it is kind of anatomy in its own way, isn't it? There we go. That looks all nice and pretty. It's actually built, an actual built device. Yeah, but was it scientifically tested? Or did they just say connected to ghosts? It's like, no, it's really connected to ghosts. Okay. Back in the day, it was amazing. And the hardest part on the front of this is going to be, I believe, this curve right through here and the engine nacelle. So those two, I feel like, are going to be our problem children here. So I feel like this is a rough line. I'm going to go ahead and fix that. There we go. It was an Edison design, huh? Edison was an inventor, and though I have a lot of faith in the things that Edison created, doesn't necessarily mean that he was, testing it. I mean, he did hornswoggle Tesla, so I am willing to. He hornswoggled the people so that Tesla wouldn't get out there. And he beat everybody to the market with AC, where Tesla was big on DC. I don't blame him. DC might have been easier to deal with. There we go. I feel like that's a thing that we could certainly argue that one for many, many moons. Okay. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's take a look at this side over here. We're going to do the same thing we did before. We're just going to do the left hand of the spacecraft. And I'm going to just freehand this engine nacelle. I'm going to do a better job of freehanding this engine nacelle. There we go. Took a lot of effort. I'll freehand the buckets pieces there. Pieces that are pretty buckety. We'll go ahead and head to the center section. Again, not going to say that they weren't. I believe you. I just don't know if this is feasible. Logical. Oh, come on. I think the spirit world is one of those things that fascinates me in a lot of ways because I can't get verifiable proof out of a lot of it. It's hard to, and I'd like to believe. Just like UFOs. I'd like to believe UFOs are out there, but I've never seen one. I've never seen a ghost either, for that matter. It doesn't mean they don't exist. It just means I've never seen one. that. I'm going to come around this corner like this and around it. So 70s. This was so 70s. Donald's going in and out of consciousness. That's not good. Stay with us, Donald. We like you. You're our friend. We'd like for you to stay in consciousness if we could. Okay, this again, this bows a little this way. I head to that midpoint out here. I'm going to do the same thing with you. I'm going to head to this midpoint right about there. We have about 8 minutes left, so I'm going to just put this around here. Tomorrow I'm going to work on more of Fred's work, and that's not the midpoint, says me, suddenly aware that we didn't actually go to the midpoint. The midpoint's there. We're going to work on Fred's work tomorrow, which is good, and we should be done with this guy today. I might actually just go offline and finish this guy off, because he could go to client if I did. I'm also going to have to return to the next drawing for Braun, and that's going to have to come back up on my board. And this is why we don't want to do this. That's why we don't do that from far away. Because now I'm going to have to connect these two together like this. Ghostbusters borrowed a lot of ideas from the turn of the century commercials. That wouldn't surprise me. Makes sense. There's a line here that kind of describes going down the bucket a little. Kind of like the bucket effect here. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that same thing here. I don't think I want a line per se, because I feel like this is more like this. Just enough to illustrate what's going on there. We've got this little connector box right here. And then we've got that chin light, which does... It's a sensor probe or something on the front. We're going to make it work there. There we go. And that's that. Well, it looks like we've pretty much gotten all the major details in here. The only thing I really want to kind of get in here is some kind of semblance of what this intake looks like, because I feel like it was internal more like this. There we go, like that. We can color that in and get a good feel of what that looks like in there, because it's tilted in, they're moved in, and they're towed in just a little bit. So, kind of want to make sure I've got that implicated here. But the other thing is that they have a lip, which means that I need to kind of clear out that part right there. And that kind of inner lip, I think this is borrowing from a jet model of some sort. There we go. Just bring that around right here, just a little. There. Much more like that. before we have to head off, I'm going to copy and paste that. Transform, flip horizontal. And this will allow me to take this guy and just put it right here. I'm going to get closer. Perfectly aligned. And up one. That many. Not that many. That's a long gap up there. But it works. And we've got the front of this guy done now. And except for the proton pack, of course. But if we look, he should be straight up pretty much normal. The only thing we're missing is that. So we'll put that on there, and that should be fine. I'm going to hit save real quick. Save it. Oh my goodness. I can tell I've been sitting here too long. And that's kind of a thing. Well, there you go, guys. So, we've worked pretty much 2 hours on this guy with an hour before. So we're 3 hours in. I'm at, but they look good. It looks fine. We'll probably put that design out on the web at some point in time as well. It'd be great. And I think the Trekkies would love it and stuff like that. So always a plus. So it's 12 o'clock, everybody. It's time for us to get going and become one with lunch. So I will see all of you people later. I hope you have a great Tuesday. And I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.